Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Rainbow Six Siege video. In this video we're going to be having a little discussion. More specifically, we're going to be talking about global abilities, which operators have them, and why I personally think they're not that great for Siege as a game overall. But before we continue, please like the video, click that Taco Bell button. It really helps me out and it ensures that you always have some Rainbow Six Siege content to watch. And leave a comment down below with your thoughts on the video. I would love to start a discussion about global ultimates. Now let's begin. For starters, what are global abilities? Now I define these abilities as the ones that affect your entire team or the entire enemy team. Currently, there are 3 operators in Siege that have globals. They are Dokebi, Lion, and Finca. Dokebi's phone calls ring all enemy phones, Lion scans can potentially spot every defender or anyone really moving, and Finca's nanobots heal and buff every attacker. Now, as many of you might know, their abilities can be extremely strong. Dokebi can basically alert all the attackers of any defender's location. One phone call can counter a roamer's movement or make an anchor an easy frag target. Lion scans are perfect for anyone hunting roamers. If the defenders move, they're pinged and make easy targets. Even if they don't move, they're just sitting ducks, making for an easy headshot. And finally, Finca's nanobots give a huge recoil buff, making almost any gun a laser beam. It gives the attackers temporary health, meaning they can rush with less risk of dying. They can still die, but that extra 40 health does help. And it can pick up any attackers that are down, letting Finca pull off a revive from halfway across the map in some cases. These abilities sound pretty awesome, right? If you're attacking, you get so much intel. You can tell exactly where the defenders are, make them easy targets, and even have some disposable health before you make your play. If these abilities are so amazing, why do I have an issue with them? Now, my main issue is they take no skill and affect the match too much for my tastes. Also, I think they're way too powerful. These abilities only require a little bit of skill to pull off good plays. I mean, it does involve some. You have to time it correctly. You have to decide, when you use your scan, when you use your phone call, what point in the match is your team ready. Like, it does require teamwork, communication, and a little bit of skill, but not as much skill compared to a lot of other abilities. All you have to really decide is just when to use them. Any of these abilities timed perfectly can win a match or turn the tables on a failing push. It's great to see, and I love these hype moments in matches, but they don't take much skill. Just pressing a button as Lion can ping the entire defending team. Meanwhile, Pulse exists. Their abilities have a similar function. They're both used to find out where the enemy is. The only difference is Pulse takes a lot more skill. Not only do you have to decide when to use it, because pulling out the device takes a bit of time, and while it's out you're vulnerable to any bullets coming at you, but you also have to manually ping the enemy and give the call out to your team. Compared to that, Lion can just press one button, takes half a second, then any pings appear automatically on every attacker's HUD. You don't even have to really make a call out. As for Finca, her nanobots are very similar to Doc, with a few key differences. While Finca has to press a button and can do 3 different things with her ability, she only has 3 uses. My man Doc has to make a lot more decisions and use a lot more skill. Doc has to think about when to buff and when to heal. He has to think about who's getting the healing, and if he goes to revive someone, he has to find a safe angle and actually land the stim pistol shot. On top of that, at max he can only affect 3 defenders, while Finca affects all 5 attackers 3 different times. Finca's ability is half as hard to use, does more, and affects more people. It takes so little skill to use her ability compared to Doc. In addition to their ease of use and how little skill is involved, they're extremely powerful. A Dokebi or Lion ability can effectively stop the entire momentum of the enemy team. Whatever the defenders are up to, whatever angles they're lining up, or whatever flanks the roamers are trying to pull off, these abilities stop them in their tracks. Sure, they can get in a mute jammer, but those are only really going to be an OBJ, meaning the roamers absolutely have to deal with it no matter what. And if there isn't a mute, every defender just has to deal with it. As for Finca, she can effectively revive multiple attackers, save an attacker mid-firefight with their temporary health, and of course give everyone laser-like recoil. All these abilities completely change the pace of a match and the course of a match. To me, I think they're too strong. I don't think one button press, that has to be kind of timed, but like just one button press can affect an entire match that much. To me, I just don't think that's right. I want the game to have match-winning plays. That's a must of Siege, and I love getting hype when a clutch happens, but I want them to require more skill. If a Caveira manages to down and interrogate an attacker, it takes skill. They have to sneak around and find an attacker out of position. They have to, of course, down them, and they have to pull off the interrogation animation without being killed. And then once the interrogation happens, they have to make callouts. The team has to communicate, who's going after who's going to wait for who, all this other stuff. It takes skill, but it can also turn the tide of a round. With all of this being said, I'm not sure if Ubisoft is going to add in any more globals. Dokebi was the first person to have a global. She was added at the end of year 2. I think they played around with the idea of globals with her. They must have liked her ability a lot, because at the beginning of year 3, Lion and Finca were introduced, both of course being attackers. After Operation Chimera, we haven't really seen any globals. Maybe they saw how potentially overpowered globals could be, so they just decided not to add in any more. I mean, they must have had a nightmare trying to balance Lion's scan. I've lost count of how many nerfs he's gotten. Maybe it was too much of a balancing challenge, so they just decided that it'd be better to come up with unique abilities that weren't globals. I'm hoping we don't really have to see any more. But if we do have to get another global, like if it's just a matter of fact, like another global is coming into the game, can we at least get a defender? I mean, all 3 globals are on the attacking side. Give the defense some love. Now that's going to be it for this video. I want to hear from you all. Do you like global abilities? Do you think they're too strong or affect a match too much? Do you disagree with me on anything? And would you like to see more globals? I don't know, so let me know down in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and comment on the video and subscribe to the channel for more amazing Rainbow Six Siege content. I'm the Battle Moon, and I will see you in the next siege.